Lee and Trevyn here, and this is the pull list for September 5th, 2012, presented by LongboxRadio.com. I'm joined by Trevyn today because he was kicking around, even though while Trevyn doesn't read comic books, he does keep abreast of them, usually. So
I used to pick him up frequently until we lost our local comic book shop.
And Rom the Space Knight left.
We lost him too.
We lost the space. Yeah. Bring him home. Bring home the Space Knight.
Bring home Rom.
So what I got this week, Trevyn, are you familiar with the new 52 at DC?
I've been hearing about it.
Good things, bad things?
That's general things.
Yeah, so what they're doing now, this has been a year, and they're doing annuals, I believe, too, which is like every year you would do a book that's just completely non sequitur to the rest of the books. They're also doing these zero issues. So they started in September. This is Grant Morrison's doing this one. It's Action Comics number 0. And it's an origin story to their reboot, so it's telling a earlier story. Yeah. And while that one makes sense, there'll be some later that make a lot less sense. Before Watchmen, this is actually an older book already. It's Ozzy number 2. I've been lambasting. Before Watchmen, I haven't liked any of them, but then I read the first issue of this, which is the one book I skipped out of the entire series for no reason, and it was fantastic. So I got number 2 as well right there. I got number 2. See, now this is Earth 2, number 0. And the problem with that is Earth 2 is a relatively new 52 book, new 52 book, meaning that there only really is 4 issues. So to do a 0 issue, going back to what happened literally a month ago, pretty much.
Prequels to prequels.
What's cool about the Earth 2 universe, though, is the book starts with it being destroyed. Like, we have Power Girl and the Huntress.
So, like, Tarantino's it, end at the beginning?
Kind of, sort of, yeah, because Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are all dying at the beginning of the book. So, so those two characters... no, wait, that's Earth 2. That's World's Finest. Earth 2 takes place in that same universe, and in this case, we're going to get to see those characters that don't really exist outside of... Yeah. The Earth 2 book itself has to do with the Green Lantern, who's gay. You may have heard of that.
Yeah.
The new Flash. How could you not? Hawkgirl and the etc. So those are both in the same universe. I messed that up. I'm sorry. I'm getting over a cold, as you can tell. Yeah. Ferris, that's a really cool cover there. New writer, new illustrator on this one. It's a spin-off of the Fables books. I don't know if you've heard of Bill William at all.
I think so.
Kind of like a modern twist on fairy tales, crime noir kind of thing. So there's Ferris. That's a badass cover. I like that. I like it. Cool. So, Swamp Thing, this is another number 0. It's very hard to say what it's called. Scott Snyder's on that one. He's been kicking ass on the book. There it is. That's Swamp Thing's new design. I don't know if you've seen it. He's got like big wings made out of feathers and then antlers and stuff. So, cool stuff. Apparently this one and Jeff Lemire's Animal Man number 0 are going to be kind of taking place, telling us about the Rot World, which is like the... You know, there's like the Triforce of living things. World and the there's world. The red, the green, and the black, or whatever, right? So, yeah. Here's the book I was thinking the other book was. This is World's Finest, which is, again, spinning out of Earth 2, so we have Power Girl and Huntress there. Of course, here they're Supergirl and Robin from that universe. DC, just a lot of fun. Yeah. So, moving on to Image, we have Mind the Gap, little Red Riding Hood spin going on there. This particular book is... it's neat. It's about a girl, she gets attacked, she's in a coma, and she's kind of like quantum leaping into other people inside the hospital. Meanwhile, all these characters are kind of going around her, and you're trying to figure out who did what to whom. So cool stuff. Really good art on that one, too, so there it is.
Who done it?
An old school who done it.
Yep.
This is Thief of Thieves. This book is $3 right now. In like a week's time, it'll be well triple that. This is coming to us from Kirkman. Spencer is no longer in the book. He was doing the writing now. It's Asmus. Yeah. So... A book that was a slow burn at first, but now I like, so nothing to complain. It's just thief, con man kind of crap like that. And the best part is the books are worth tons of money after you buy them. So, well, this is terrible. This is Amazing Spider-Man 693, and I love Amazing Spider-Man. I love Dan Slott, but I don't know what they're doing here. They've introduced this character named Alpha, and he's a bratty kid who Peter Parker. He's making Parker particles or something, and he accidentally radiates this kid, much like he was irradiated by the spider. So this kid's got powers, but he doesn't have the whole responsibility thing. So he's going around being a big cock about it, and Spider-Man's kind of taking responsibility for him, but the character is terrible. Apparently we're going to be with him for the next few issues.
Do you think he's supposed to be terrible, or is supposed to be likable?
He has to be terrible, because Dan Slott isn't a bad writer. So I think they're building him up to
setting
kill him
up to be a villain, or
or
maybe setting him up to have a big turnaround, and become really responsible.
We don't want him. No one who reads Amazing Spider-Man, as far as I've heard, wants this character. He's terrible. He's like cocksure. He's showing up all the he's a Mary Sue. He's the Mary Sue character that's been introduced right now.
Maybe they're really trying to go for character development. They're trying to like start him out all shitty and then make you like him.
Like make him good.
Yeah.
Based on his power set though, that doesn't like he's the best at everything.
Like what are his powers?
think of it. He can do it. He's super fast. He can like shoot lightning or something. I don't know. I read the book and I was half asleep because it was boring me. But that was $6.92.
I fell asleep reading a comic book.
It was something. It was bad, man. Because I read a Spider-Man comic book for Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man shouldn't have a sidekick, and if he did,
truly,
they have to be building him up to kill him or something. I don't know what Alpha's deal is, but that has to be it. This is the second last issue, I believe, of Avengers Academy, which is a book I've liked. After Dark Reign, when Siege happened, Norman Osborn was like the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and like national security for a while, and during that he took a lot of youngsters with powers and like tortured them and tried to get the most out of their power. So what happens is after his reign is concluded, the Avengers decide to take a lot of these kids and put them in this academy to keep them off the streets and keep them from becoming big supervillains. Because some of them have very powerful movesets. So that's Avengers Academy in a nutshell, and this is the second last issue.
Sounds pretty cool, actually.
It's 36. They went on for a while. I've liked it since it started. So speaking of badass books, The Defenders, this is from Matt Fraction, this is from Jamie McKelvey. McKelvey's the artist that me and Romello are always raging about if I just crack open the book anywhere here. It's a very particular style, but awesome, as you can see. So the Defenders are, the team is on the front here. You got Iron Fist, you got Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Red She-Hulk, some other people making appearances here. But the art's great, the book's great, it's quirky. There's little bylines at the end of everything that are just either nonsense or advertisements. It's just all over the place. Good stuff. New Hawkeye book, this is from Matt Fraction as well. This is issue 2. The first one kind of had Hawkeye just doing stuff around his apartment. Hawkeye stuff. He helps out a dog. And he pays rent for his entire apartment and beats up some Ukrainian gangsters. It was good. I liked it. Let's see a second issue there. It was different. It wasn't what you were expecting. Like a Hawkeye book. Well, this is just going to be mindless shooting and cool stuff. No, he was like dealing with everyday stuff.
Neat.
Goes grocery shopping. Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man. This is actually one of the last issues of this book too. They're restarting it as just Iron Man. I think they're doing Marvel Now, which is like their take on the New 52. They don't reboot their continuity, but they're like, let's start at 1.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, whatever Iron Man starts off of, this has happened in it. It's just, they're just starting at 1, because instead of being at 520.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get a good jumping part. Now, you wouldn't have done it when Avengers came out, when people might have been out there looking for comics. No, you're going to do it months later. Anyways, this is one of the last ones. It's from Matt Fraction as well. That's 3 in a row from Matt Fraction right there. And you have Iron Man right here. There he is. He's escaping the Mandarin. Who's basically captured him, and it's a very it's a scenario very reminiscent rather of Iron Man's actual origin, where he's been kind of like, hey, make me weapons, yet he's been secretly building. How Mandarin didn't see that coming, I don't know.
I mean, maybe Mandarin never knew.
Never bothered looking into it.
He's the Mandarin, he knew.
Yeah, he's got those rings, man. These guys know. The Punisher, this is number 15 from Rucka right there. Book I've been kind of hot and cold with. They gave him a sidekick too, a woman who had her whole family destroyed at a wedding.
He also gave him a beard.
It's getting better. Yeah, he looks like Snake, which is kind of bad. He had like a eye patch as well for a little while.
I don't know if Punisher needs a sidekick, but he's more like to have a sidekick than Spider-Man.
Well, see, Spider-Man's fine with a sidekick, because Spider-Man does team-ups a lot. Like Daredevil, Spider-Man, Black Cat, Spider-Man. Yeah. But to give him like someone specifically for him is just silly. Ultimate Comics, this is Ultimate Spider-Man right there, who's the Black Spider-Man, Trevyn. I'll have you know.
Black and Mexican.
He's Black and Mexican. That's two for right there. He's hanging out with Captain America, who just recently came back from Alaska to set things right in America. So there you have it. And finally, something I'm really happy about.
America to set things right in America.
This is a variant cover. Actually, I don't get many variant covers, but I had to get this one. And this one is actually by an artist by the name of Scotty Young, who does a lot of art, well, like this, kind of like...
really stylized?
Really fun. Like, it's super cool to look at. He's apparently... I made a joke today that I'm like, oh man, Scotty Young should do like a Avengers Babies or something like that. Like I would buy it just for the covers if he did that, and then apparently that's actually happening. It's A babies versus X babies. So that's going to be a real thing. But in the meantime, I have this cool Venom popping out of the cake, and that's Venom number 24 right there, with Spider-Man hanging out with some presents. It's the 50th anniversary of Spider-Man. And of course, how do we celebrate that 50th anniversary? We give him a sidekick.
Surprise!
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me either. So apparently Haynes has promised we're going to do a podcast tomorrow, so we'll be talking about comic books. Thank you for joining me here, Trevyn.
No problem.
It's better to talk to you than just the faceless internet.
Yeah. Someone to put a face to someone now.
Cold, faceless internet. So that's my books for this week. We'll see you again next week for the pull list. I'm hopefully going to get better.